Hello and welcome to another episode of the Pretty Good Gaming Podcast, episode number 20. It's a three-man podcast special today, no Gaz. So my name's Jake Lukowski and I'm joined by...
What's the mics, Jake, yeah?
The mics. Speaking of mics...
Speaking of...
Introduce yourself. You put it on yourself.
My name is Mike.
And Liam McKelvey.
Hiya.
Today, should we do it again? Should we roll again? We're keeping it in. That was a fucking.
That was good for me.
So let's get straight into it. We've got a couple of topics.
That was good. Keep going, Jake.
From one train wreck to another, let's get straight into our first topic, and it's going to be about No Man's Sky. It's a favourite of the channel, but we've never spoke about it.
It's a cornerstone of the channel.
Yeah, it is.
It's part of our history.
And we actually want to have a real discussion about it this time. There's a reason why. It's because No Man's Sky have, the team behind it, Hello Games, have alluded to a new patch.
A huge one.
Which marks the anniversary of the game. And we don't know much about it yet, but we'll get to that in a minute. Let's go chronologically and talk about the game from the beginning. If you don't know what No Man's Sky is, where the fuck have you been? It's probably the biggest gaming discussion of last year.
Yeah.
It was certainly one of the most talking points. And it's a game where you are in space, endless amounts of space, doing fuck all until recently they started patching the game. So we all played it vanilla, when it started.
I didn't.
You didn't play
it? Not touched it a single second.
Ooh.
This has got to be the one game that I've played that you haven't.
That's it.
Probably.
And like at this point, it's like you're still at a haven't. It's something to be proud of.
It's still somehow a negative, yeah.
Yeah. So Liam wins it again. No Man's Sky vanilla. I played for at least 50 hours. I got to the center of the universe twice. Ask me anything. I'm a rare soul.
Yeah. I was surprised by that. I've actually not met or spoken to anyone on the internet who's done that. Even Angry Joe, who reviewed the game, if I remember, watched someone else get to the middle of the universe, plot twist galaxy. So it's kind of a rare breed, someone who's actually got there.
Twice. You see, once via the conventional means of just trawling through black holes, and the quick way of doing it is like following the Atlas path, which is a bit of a nightmare. So yeah, I had quite a nice time with it. I tempered my expectations heavily. In fact, I expected nothing. I did read someone say expect nothing, and I did just that. It did get boring after that long, and they finally started adding content now. But can it be saved?
It's interesting what they're doing with it, because they're trying to salvage it, because the game is like tied so strongly to them and their reputation now. They've got to like bring it back, because anything they do in the future is
tarnished.
Going to be weighed down by this, like Sean Murray's name. Sure, he's a lovely guy and everything, but just his kind of who he is in kind of media circles is not great at the moment.
He's a bit like John Wick. You're saying he strikes fear into the heart.
Yeah, not that badass maybe, but
he's got a beard though.
That's he does have a beard, but it's just a matter of like salvation for them. Genuinely, they just have to bring it back. They've got to improve it, and they've got to make those people who are so disappointed by it. They've got to make them happy. There's going to be people who are just like, fuck him, I'm not touching it again. I've forgotten about No Man's Sky. Why are you still talking about this? All that kind of
exactly.
Kind of
so this is a discussion that people were having a year ago.
Yeah.
Well, just short of a year ago. The game's nearly reaching its first anniversary, and people have been saying this for a while. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, and kind of suspiciously armed with a lot of radio silence, No Man's Sky have been whittling away, making some changes, and slowly releasing them over the course of the year. Two major updates happened. Okay, so the first update was the Foundation update. The Foundation being the building of the base.
This is just the beginning.
Yes, exactly. The start of a brave new world. And you could build the base. You could buy freighters, which was basically like space base.
They're cool, yeah.
You could do farming and shit. Yeah. Exactly. Met with quite tepid response, because it was like, yeah, cool. But did it bring you back?
Yeah.
Did you play it for long?
That was the warmest reaction I think it got. Me and Gareth as well. I think we're in that camp where it's kind of like, oh, nice, yeah, awesome. This is good. It's free. It's content. Nice. What now? It's exactly the same experience as the first couple of hours of the game, where it's like, this is nice, this is cool, this is a nice game, I'm fixing my ship, it's crashed, I want to get out into space and see what's going on. Once you do that, once you've experienced what is the first thing it's trying to show you, what else is there? And that's the game's problem. So, and they've always been on the record, it's like, we don't want to put a story in this. There's no
yeah, just like a universe sandbox.
The whole idea is exploration. So if we tie you into a story, then that's not.
It's the whole thing, like, the story's your experience.
Exactly.
That angle.
That's right. And I think the update, the foundation update, I spent more time installing it than playing it. Honestly, I turned it on, I could make a base, I was like, I don't really like this. I'll play SimCity if I want to do that. I know I'm missing the point.
You say that, but I spent more time installing mods on Skyrim than I did playing it, and I still really like Skyrim.
Yeah, this is just one patch, so it shouldn't have been a lengthy process. I think the thing with this is that annoyed people. We still didn't see some of the things that were promised in the trailers. You still didn't see that giant sandworm, things moving in packs and monsters fighting other monsters, aliens, should I say. You didn't see any of that really still. They made some quality of life updates and stuff, but there was that. So that's stage one. Then they made the second update, which was the Pathfinder update, right? With
which was decent.
You can now own multiple ships, so you can start a collection, store them on your freighters and stuff. You could share your bases online. If you're on Steam, you could download people's bases. That was cool. And then, most importantly, I suppose, is vehicles. They were introduced, the exocraft they call them, and you could do automated mining. A lot of people complained that No Man's Sky ended up being quite a tedious chore of shooting things with your your mining gun, and you can now set them up. You can set up drills, you can set up all these automated things. So did you play that one? I didn't.
I didn't play that one. I played the Foundation, and I want to go back to it badly. I really want to go back to No Man's Sky, because I want to play the game that I thought I was going to play, and I feel like they're getting there. You know what I mean? I feel like they're building up to it slowly, and obviously that's basically what they've said they're going to do by giving us a Foundation update and being like,
it's essentially being treated like an early access game at this point, isn't it?
I was going to ask that. So do you reckon it would have been safer for them to just take the early access route?
It's a whole big issue. That's a huge issue. That, like, if Sony hadn't come aboard, if they hadn't shown it off so early and been so ambitious with the whole scope and stuff, and so part of that is 100%. If they didn't release this as a box product, and this is something we've said on the channel loads and kind of analysed it in depth, I guess. But yeah, totally. If they didn't go full box product, like full retail price, with Sony's marketing might behind them, and go charging full price for it, if they went early access, and even early access at a discounted price, like 20 quid maybe, the whole thing, the whole name of No Man's Sky would mean something completely different. And that is part of the redemption process, isn't it? It's like they've been bankrolled now. They could develop this for so long now with the money they've made from the launch day sales and stuff, even when you include like Steam refunds or whatever. I don't know, were Steam refunds even around then? Maybe this is what kicked it off.
I think they definitely were around. There were a lot of angry people online.
They were just playing like 2 hours and just bang.
There were people taking it to people trying to sue them, weren't they? Saying it's like genuine false advertising.
This is what I'm saying. When did Steam refunds come around? Because was this might have been like a catalyst for it or something. Like,
it probably would have been one of the big early cases.
Yeah. It would have been the first mass refunds if so. But yeah, that's just all part of the picture, isn't it? And hopefully, I mean, this 1.3, whatever it's going to be, it's a year on. This is 1 year on. This has got to be substantial, I reckon. And they've mounted, they added a lot in the Foundation update, and that was just kind of 6 months, if I remember rightly. But since the game's actual launch, they can achieve a lot, like in a short space of time, even though it's a small team. It's that kind of game. Because it's not like they have to actually completely design big areas and stuff. It's more like coming up, like refining the algorithm and adding stuff to the algorithm. It's more
just formulas, isn't it? Yeah, make things that can...
So I'm hoping that it will be so substantial that it would like give you motivation to play, because that's what the game's missing. It's missing giving you a reason to keep playing.
Are we going to get fucking Metal Gear Solid in space? In space?
Are they going to be enemies?
Are they going to be what are those shit things called? The Sentinels or whatever? Yeah. They're shite, aren't they?
They are shite.
Imagine a fucking mech one though. Imagine Metal Gear Ray.
So this is what I'm saying. You need motivation to keep playing, and there's no urgency. There's nothing. There's no carrot. Like the carrot is getting to the center, which is bollocks. Yeah. There's nothing. There's no reason to do that. twice.
I thought maybe if I got to the centre via different means, I'd have a different ending or something.
I see.
You see what I mean? So
you were like, this can't possibly be the right ending.
Well, no, because the game offers you like the Atlas path or the...
Just do what
you'll just find the centre through like a series of wormholes. And then it says the Atlas path is like the true way. And it's nothing.
Wasn't it you get like the same 30-second cutscene or something, and then it just starts the game all over again?
Honestly, it's nothing exciting at all, and it's a real shame to say that.
Isn't it the whole premise, though? The mind-blowing thing is meant to be, this is just one galaxy.
But you already know that.
Exactly.
You're already feeling that throughout the game when you're like, this is one planet in a galaxy.
The concept of infinity is already in there, because you're like, well, all these are just... I can just keep flying in a straight line, and it'll just keep generating planets for me as I keep going forward for eternity. Like it's
something really rare happened to me when I played the game, and I'll see if I can get some screenshots to show on the podcast when I'm talking about this. When I started the game, I started one galaxy or universe away from another player. I could never saw.
No way.
Honest to fucking God. You'll see. I'll see if I can show you the trophies, my early trophies, discovering stuff and naming things, and you'll see in the corner. He had named stuff as well, and it said by the player, and I must have been surely one of the earliest players to encounter someone else's turf, right? I played it on release day. I had the day off work, coincidentally. I didn't book it off, I just had it off. And I'd named stuff slander to him, like, yo, hello, and stuff like that. And we'll see if I can show you. And that was a really cool feature, because at the time I'd heard the rumours that you couldn't meet other players.
Yeah.
But I had hope. I thought, I can see that. And it's that's about the most exciting thing that happened. And it happened at the very, very beginning.
But then it was revealed shortly, like for a few weeks after launch, that even the things that you name aren't permanent.
Right.
So it's like a time limit on it.
Right.
So you name all these things. I don't know if that's still the case, but
because I know that they get taken to like an archive online, or they did at the time. This is like really like release week. There was an archive where you could upload it to the cloud sort of thing, and you could see all your things. And that's what I didn't want it to be like David Attenborough, but they added a lot. This though, you're right. It could be enemies. It could be a villainous force.
Going back to that would, without adding a story, which they don't want to do, and while still giving you the freedom to explore at your own pace, they could, rather than tempt you forward with a carrot, they could light a fire under your ass by saying this force is following you or something, and you can
some Galactus type thing eating the planets behind you or something.
Why not? You know what I mean? It's just. They could leave that for ages. Like, you could leave it to like 10 hours in, give you ample time to just be like meandering around, and then suddenly the planet you're flying towards gets eaten by a giant, and you're like, fuck! And
that's too good, though. That's too good. This is the thing. I've got zero hope. But I'll tell you something. Let me tell you something cool that they are doing. This is really happening right now, and we almost touched on this in the story, but I don't think we deemed it relevant enough to make a whole video out of it, because it was kind of just a little bit hearsay and rumor. So on the No Man's Sky Reddit, the mods were all sent in real life mysterious packages from the No Man's Sky team with merchandise, just like a little sticker, a little beanie hat with the No Man's Sky logo on, and a cassette tape labelled 3 out of 16 or whatever. When you put this tape in, whoever has a tape player, I don't know. So they somehow managed to get this tape player, get the information, or read the data on it, which then you encrypt it or decrypt it via like ROT32, and then makes a hexadecimal or whatever. Anyway,
it was pretty elaborate.
All this is, they call it like an ARG domain or augmented reality game. Mr. Robot did it, the TV show, where you can go follow the rabbit hole, and it led to a set of clues, and they had to all work together. And there was words that came out, stuff like portal. That was the word that they saw. Sean Murray has recently released a statement. Sean Murray himself. And people are saying, is there going to be more of this? What does portal mean? Are they going to keep pushing it? He said, we intend to keep the process alive until the completion of Project Walking Titan in August. It's important to mention that we are very excited by the coming phases 2 and 3. So I think that's the next stage of this augmented reality game. Input from the Mercury subroutine will pave the way towards new experiences in version 1.3 of a familiar universe. We look forward to the successful conclusion of this groundbreaking experiment. Regards, SM. So, the portal has been out. Is this too contrived?
It's what struck me about this was the irony of the fact that they were just before the game came out, they were just like falling over themselves to talk about the game and all the features that are going to be in it, and then didn't end up being in it. But they were just like, everything was yes, this is coming, this is coming, this is coming, this is coming. This is them leaking information in such a tightly controlled and protected way. Like, you got to break codes and stuff to get into it. I just love the parallel there of like, this is information about our game. Good luck trying to find out what it is. I love that kind of that imagery.
They have learned their lesson, you might argue. They've really. Maybe he should only ever speak in ASCII code.
Only like someone from the Da Vinci Code universe could.
Get fucking Dan Brown to write a book about him. I want to ask Liam. Your knowledge will probably be really handy for this. Recently, we covered a lot review bombing. GTA, Paradox titles and stuff like that. Can you think of a time a game's been anti-review bomb? It started off as mixed reviews, and then using the power of a huge update or something, it's turned it round. Ultimately, this is the only hope for No Man's Sky's Steam reviews, is if this patch is so awesome, it gets an influx of positive reviews, people that haven't left reviews yet, and do the anti-review bomb. I don't know how else to say this, the fucking review bomb redemption, I don't know.
I think it happened to Rainbow Six Siege, Like, when that first came out, they pulled some, like, really shitty DLC, microtransaction, season pass bullshit, typical Ubisoft stuff. But then, like, they came out and said, like, we're reworking the game, you can get the normal game for a discounted price, but then everything can be unlocked, but if you want to, you can just, like, buy the complete pack like a normal game. And the reviews actually went from, I think it went from mixed to mostly positive. Wow, like when this update like rolled out.
So it can be done.
It's possible,
yeah. The Division had a similar thing, I think, when they did a fix about 6-7 months later, and the reviews jumped up for that. I'm not sure if it was so big a jump, but and that's
probably not, because the Division was more like lukewarm when that came out. There was people who liked it and people who really didn't, and then over time the people who liked it stuck around, I guess, and then they were just getting information that was pleasing to them, I suppose. So that's maybe what happened there. But yeah, I think No Man's Sky has to do an awful lot to win people back. It basically has to become a completely different game to what it was when it came out. Full of content, full of stuff to do, full of reasons to go back to it, and also just the fact that people don't quickly forget when they feel like they've been ripped off.
Yeah.
Especially when something becomes a meme for like bad games, broken promises, especially broken promises. And that, No Man's Sky is all those things. No Man's Sky and Sean Murray and Hello Games are all those things, or they were. And maybe it's dying off a bit now. Maybe people ask.
Perhaps people still remember Peter Molyneux. I'm a fan of the Peter Molyneux.
Peter Molyneux's more long term, isn't it?
Peter Molyneux, I mean, the shit that he was pulling early 2000s, a lot of the people that are aware of No Man's Sky weren't even around when Fable 1 was out. So maybe for the older games, it's maybe more of a British thing as well.
Yeah.
But Sean Murray, because of this is the pure internet meme age.
Yeah.
He is probably going to be well known for the biggest bullshitter in Guildford, when really it is your boy Peter.
If Fable 2 was happening now, be a
shitstorm, wouldn't it?
Peter Molyneux would
the North remembers. I remember Peter. Yeah. But there's still hope on the horizon. The only thing that I wonder about is that, you're right, it has to be a completely different game. And the game that people want is the game that's at odds with what the No Man's Sky developers want. Yeah. They don't want to make a game full of content with quests and enemies. They just wanted to make a sandbox. Sony, really, were partly responsible for this. But the problem is then, Sean Murray did not help at all. Now, I'm planning on doing a topic about it next week, about this very thing, about the importance of publishers fucking stuff up by advertising it incorrectly. Right. And I'll have a real good case for that soon. But with Sean Murray, he did not help at all, because do you think it was British politeness?
No. I think it's nerdish nervousness is what I think. I think it's people pleasing and not wanting to say no, it's not happening.
I think he saw the people were like, oh, this game looks cool. Yeah. And he bought into it like big time. He got like super excited, like, oh, people are looking at my game, and so he started making all these like over elaborate promises and like showing off these guys. I mean, he went on like Stephen Colbert, didn't he? Like, when's a game developer ever gone on like the Colbert show to show off their game?
It was that's it, isn't it? It wasn't just a gaming phenomenon; it was like a tech phenomenon. It was like there was headlines on the BBC about someone creating another universe and that kind of that kind of bollocks. Like, but he like half of the promises are people saying, "Will you be able to see other players in the game?" And Sean Murray going, kind of, that kind of. He doesn't want to say no, you won't, because that's the truth. But so it's a combination of people pleasing and I guess not wanting to upset the publisher, Sony, and in PR situations like that, in interview situations like that, the journalist gets told what he can and can't ask, not to mention what Sean Murray can and can't say. So he's got like all this pressure from behind him, like, you make sure you don't say this, make sure you don't ever say no, make sure that he's got all these rules that he's got to follow. People don't ever think about that kind of thing, but so he's a victim of his own,
his own cowardice.
No.
Okay. Yeah, it
maybe.
Is. He could have just said no. I think he was quite cowardly in a sort of meeting the in-laws for the first time and just nodding and agreeing way. And
he's a people,
but he didn't want to displease.
Yeah, it came from a good place, but it came from a cowardly place.
The results are, they are cowardly. Like he had so many opportunities to correct himself and stuff, and afterwards, the radio silence thing afterwards was.
They still haven't properly owned up to it.
There's all those infamous tweets, isn't there? Of like. Yeah. Say, can we play multiplayer? It's like, it's blowing my mind. And just like, you can picture him running away.
That's doubling down. That's when it becomes cowardly for me, when he's doubling down on the mistakes that he's made.
It's still not been, they've won awards and they're not gone to college. But yeah, that topic's been done to death. And if you've stuck through this long, thanks a lot. But yeah, so there is a No Man's Sky update, the third big one. How many updates is it going to take to bring me back more than this? And I want to know, is there anyone out there listening? Is there anyone out there who still plays No Man's Sky? Because you can kick back, you can kind of relax on it. I heard that they're adding they've got undersea temples and shit, sharks and that.
Submarines, and, vessels to go underwater.
Yeah, there was none of that really when I was kicking about on it.
Do you know what as well? They've nailed if they'd got the planetary generation thing right at the beginning, which they didn't, because the planets were boring and samey, and that was one of the key things. When I went back to it for the Foundation update, and this was in whenever that came out, March or whatever it was. Yeah, it's the planets were so much more interesting already. Right, I liked that I was landing on beaches and stuff, and there was forests,
obvious the stuff in the trailer.
Forest, exactly. Yeah. Obvious forests, and then vast oceans where I couldn't see the land on the other side. I had to fly there. None of that was in the original game. All the games.
I found a planet that was green, and one planet was about all I found, I reckon.
Exactly.
And I played for hours.
There's so much repetition in the base version. So in March, what I'm saying is maybe it's even better now. I don't know. But it's the planetary generation was completely turned around. It was a lot more. I landed on 4 or 5 planets when I went back to the Foundation update, and every one of them, I was like, wow, this is different. This is a new, different kind of planet. I've not seen this before. And I'd fly for ages and I didn't do that in the base version. I was just flying below orbit to just check out this planet from a distance and see what kind of animals were running around and see the landscape. And there's mountains, obvious mountains. It's not just the landscape's kind of. The landscape before was kind of if you got a big piece of brown paper and scrunched it up and chucked it. It was it was like a ball that was really clear, unevenly defined, and it was obviously randomly generated, right? Yeah. But when I went back to it, it was a lot more clear. There was an ocean there, then there was a beach, then there was a forest, and then there was a mountain. Do you know what I mean? It was a lot more recognisable. These
biomes. I think they patched my favourite thing about the game, which is the rocket jump. The jetpack jump, which is how I got around. It was so fast, so useful. And maybe I'll go back. Maybe I won't.
It's a weird game. I feel, just talking about it makes me want to go back to it.
It's really, exactly. Everyone wants the game to do good. No one wants a game to be bad, right? Only you have to be a very, very bitter person to want something to fail. And everyone got burnt by it. An interesting fact, by the way, an interesting point. I was on a website looking for the names of the update because I forgot what the Foundation one was called, and you can click the buy now button on the website. It's still 40 quid. Still 40 quid on the Humble Store for PC, that is.
So let's go to check this to Liam, right? You didn't even buy it. You didn't even buy it when it came out. So would you? And you like sci-fi. You're not. I love sci-fi. Not opposed to the genre or anything. So why? Do you think they've done enough now to make you want to pay full price for it?
Not really. Not for me. I don't know what. Something about No Man's Sky. Every bit of footage I've seen, every review I've read, nothing about the game appeals to me.
Right.
When on paper it really should. Like, sci-fi exploration, right up my alley. But even from that, like first ever trailer they put out, which people are like, wow, what's this game? It just never did anything for me.
Kind of stylized, isn't it? It's got a certain look.
Yeah, you're immune to the fucking the trance.
Like, I don't know what it is. I never bought into it. But it's like, I remember when it came out, reading all the reviews and opinions. Like, I actually felt kind of like bad for the people who really wanted to.
Yeah.
Because I felt like disappointed for them. You know. It was a bit weird.
Yeah, I got a lot of hype on that on my end. Like, I love it. 65 Days to Stack, one of my favourite bands, did the soundtrack to it.
The soundtrack was bigger than the game when it came out.
Yeah, they've added 50% new music on the last patch as well. So it's like fifth, so it's nearly half. Now, I've got to say, everyone else is going to be talking about this in the coming months. So don't think we're just beating a dead horse, because trust me, everyone else will be doing this 1 year look back at No Man's Sky. But it's important to talk about it.
We're just running in there to get our kick in first.
So from one frontier, the final frontier, you would say, and one hugely unpopular human being in the game industry and a reputation that exceeds himself. No, it's not, Mike. No, it's not. Let's talk about COWBOYS. Let's talk about Wild West Online, okay? This is a story that's interested us in the office. Let's start at the beginning. Red Dead Redemption 2 screenshot leaked recently, single player. It got a lot of buzz on the internet. Yeah. Whoa, it looks fucking awesome. Turns out it wasn't Red Dead Redemption 2. It was Wild West Online. The plot is in the title. It's an MMO where you are a cowboy. It's kind of inspired by Django Unchained, Unforgiven, Westworld, Red Dead Redemption. They've stated it all. It looks good. Straight away, you look at it and you go, wow, that looks nice. The animations, guys, you weren't sold on, were you? Very DayZ, I think, one of you guys said.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's something about DayZ and even games like Battlegrounds, which aren't the same thing.
They're not the same thing. They're not the same game. Guys, in the comments.
I made that clear last time I talked about it. But there's just something about those games, the animation and everything. It's just there's like a gut feeling that that looks like DayZ, and I don't know what it is. It's because DayZ was the first one that I played that was an armor game that wasn't armor. It was a zombie game. So whenever the Warzy, all these old games, all these H1Z1, all these survival games and stuff, they all kind of look like DayZ. And there's just something about it, and this was one of them. Like Wild West Online, even though it was a flipping cowboy game, I didn't know who was making it or anything. My gut reaction was, that looks like DayZ.
Which is interesting, because we'll get on to zombies in just a moment. We'll talk about some controversy in a few moments. But the game, at face value, it's got nice environments, and you've got the whole thing that Gaz likes, where it's third person, but when you shoot, it goes into first person. He's a fan of stuff like that. It's got, on the outside looking in, something for everybody. On paper, why wouldn't you like this game? You can be a bandit. You can be a sheriff. You can buy a ranch and be a farmer. Yeah. You can live in the woods and just live off the fat of the land like George and Lenny and shit like that, yeah? You've got the opportunity for free DLC. They're going to give out a mountainous terrain. They're going to give out a map based in Mexico. A lot of free stuff. Sounds great, right? You'd think everyone would be excited about it, right, guys?
Yeah.
But they're not, are they?
Nope,
not at all. To do it.
Wrong. False. They don't know. People are fucking... they're shriveling up. They don't want to talk about this game, right? And if you're not aware of why, 2 words, baby. Sergei Titov. He's like I was saying, if Sean Murray is like John Wick or whatever, this guy is fucking Voldemort. This guy is like... people don't want to talk about this guy at all. There is a mere rumour that this guy is involved in the game, and it's enough to make people...
It's actually stated as fact in a couple of articles that I read. There is a connection with Titov or whatever.
Yeah, well, we'll get into that in just a moment, because, we do have a statement from the developers themselves, who are 612 Games. So before we get into that particular, let's talk about Sergey, your boy, Sergey. A little bit of context. DayZ, mildly popular game you may have heard of, about zombies and stuff. Armor mod
kind of like Battlegrounds.
Yeah.
I'm joking.
So Hammerpoint Games, the developers of The War Z, have you heard of that one? AKA Infestation Survivor Stories.
Yeah.
notoriously one of it's pure Jimquisition bait, that, isn't it?
Yeah, it is slaughtering grounds level kind of obnoxiousness when it's like they don't care about the product and they just care about the money they'll get from the product, so they put any old shit together. In this case, based on another game that already exists, strongly, it's just a complete rip-off of DayZ. It was a complete rip-off of DayZ. I don't even know if it exists anymore.
You still get it.
You can still buy it.
It's been called Infestation World now.
That is an insult. Speaking of insults, he is known for silencing criticism on his game, and this is one thing he's notorious for, as well as slinging shit back. He calls people, the only people that won't like this game are extreme DayZ fanboys.
Yep.
Just general, think of like Phil Fish, but Slavic. It's like Big Rigs. You guys know Big Rigs?
Yeah.
He's buying that. That fucking horrible game.
We should maybe show footage of that just to emphasize how bad this was. It's famously terrible.
This is under Stellar Stone, so you might don't keep track of all these company names because there's too many of them to care. But basically, Stellar Stone, he made Biggers, one of the worst abominations in gaming history, like Superman on the N64 you were saying earlier, weren't you?
Yeah.
And there's this is terrible. It's like a truck racing game. There's rumour that he's something to do with this, and immediately the one word that comes up more than anything else: scam. It's a scam. Would the reputation of one man put you off buying a game?
Well, this is the thing, isn't it? It's we don't know for sure really what the connection is until they've kind of read out the statement, which I guess maybe you should.
I'll do that.
Okay. Now, because just to explain what the situation is.
So the internet are just chomping at the bit. They want to hate this game because of Sergei Titov. 616 are the developers of this game, and they've got quite an impressive roster. Between them, the team have worked on League of Legends, COD 4, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2, Neverwinter Night. Some big titles there.
Yeah. And
so they've released a statement. They were asked directly, is Sergei Titov developing the game? They said, no, Sergei Titov is not involved in the development of this game. But yes, we use a game engine developed and supported by one of his companies. However, 616 Games is neither a subsidiary of Free Reign, which is his new shtick, nor financed by Free Reign or Sergei Titov. So he hasn't got like a financial stake in if the game as well. He's kind of just leased out this engine.
So there is a connection, but it's a loose one.
The terrible engine that powers all his terrible games is being used to power Wild West Online,
which has probably not been made by him.
No, right. So it's not so much the risk in reality is not so much that he is going to make the game bad. It's that the engine isn't very good. That is what you should take from that as a logical, rational reader of news and information. You'll just look at that and go, right. So the game engine might not be good. Hopefully the studio can optimize it properly and make it work for them. So what's happened is he's maybe poison. Just the mere suggestion of him is enough to make people write the game off entirely. Where there's complete Reddit threads and conversations about why this game is a complete write-off. Don't worry about it. We've got Red Dead Redemption coming anyway. That's going to have online. All that kind of stuff. It's people are writing it off based on the
mere name, the mere suggestion, which is his name is the poison in the well. Really.
Yeah.
He, like I'm saying, he works for a company, or he co-owns a company. I'm sure he didn't really develop this engine. He might have overlooked something from a distance. He's not a board member of this company. His company's leased these guys the engine. The development team seem different. And if this is true, and this is the thing already, people are like, he's a known liar. So maybe he's in cahoots with them, and they're avoiding that. When he gets wind that people realise he's around, he changes the company name. He hides himself.
Yeah.
So even when someone says, no, it's not Sergei, people are going, yeah, right, Sergei.
Yeah.
But
there's one blatant and obvious solution to this, which is the solution to all gaming-related problems. Just wait for the fucking reviews. Don't pre-order it. Wait till the critics who have done their job and played it for you and said, yes, this is good, or no, this is bad. Just wait for that and then get it. You don't have to pre-order it. You don't have to jump in now. You don't have to buy it before the reviews are out at all. You don't have to buy it after the reviews are out. There's no obligation on you to buy this. But there's no reason you should write it off either. Wait.
Yeah.
Just wait for
That's
the reviews.
Important thing to put as well, because it's at the same time, it's just the mere association of this guy is enough to write off what looks like a very ambitious, I will say it's ambitious, MMO, and we talk about this quite a bit in the office, don't we? We all have things to do, and with this job, and we try to play different games. We don't really have time to spend playing one MMO, do we? Liam is always like flirting with the idea of maybe Final Fantasy 14.
Yeah, constantly.
And you haven't played an MMO for...
No, the closest to an MMO I've played recently is Destiny, and I played the shit out of that like you would play an MMO, though going into doing like daily strikes and weekly strikes and all the jobs that I had to do, because I flipping loved Destiny. And that's the closest I've come, and that was an MMO FPS, and that was what they were going for. They were trying to scratch that itch, weren't they? But that's the closest I've come. The last actual MMO I played was like Lord of the Rings Online, and that wasn't the last one I played, but that was the best one that I played, and that's the only
most notable one.
No, it's the one that I remember as being... I played like the Old Republic quite a bit, and I just ran out of steam with it. And Lord of the Rings Online, for some reason, I'm a huge Lord of the Rings fan. I'm a huge Star Wars fan, but I liked Lord of the Rings enough, and it was free. It's free to play, so I kept playing it, and I enjoyed it.
It's space and sort of like Middle Earth style stuff, dragons and sorcerers and stuff, both quite well done in MMOs. Space for a Western MMO, isn't there? It would make sense. You know, you're a frontiersman or you're a cowboy, whatever. I like the idea of that. I think it's something. It's something that's not been tapped into, and with the popularity of the TV show Westworld, which is almost kind of based in a video game almost. There is a thirst for it. I think.
You look at this though, and there's an obvious market for this, right? And you also look at Grand Theft Auto 5's role playing community, right? How popular that's been. If Rockstar, which I'm pretty convinced that this is what they're doing, they won't just do GTA 5 on GTA Online, but Western. I'm quite convinced that they're gonna have seen the role playing community stuff, the popularity of Westworld, the rise of games like Wild West Online, and then the online for Red Dead, I'm pretty sure will be more of like an RP experience where you're not playing John Marston character, you're playing any character that you want. And you can buy, because you can buy flats, you can buy property, you can buy vehicles, you can do all kinds of stuff in GTA Online, which would translate really, really well in Red Dead. And you already had like the cattle herding stuff and Red Dead Redemption, so there's already scope for doing just like jobs, tasks and stuff. So they could really...
I can make an MMO
it would make
light
so much sense to have a server of 32 people, but like you've got a farm, or you've got, you know what I mean,
be like run a saloon,
exactly,
like be the sheriff and deputies.
There's a lot. GTA Online's been massive, hasn't it, successful wise, and like you're saying, the Twitch community, something that I guess wasn't really knocking about in some of their other titles. I can see that. I think it would be dreadfully embarrassing for these guys to put so much effort in and then Rockstar sweep them under the rug with the fucking polish that Rockstar are quite well known for.
I can see it happening though. I think it's a very feasible... It would make sense for them to do it as well, I think. Yeah,
they've got quite the monopoly on like online free roaming console, especially the console generation. So you're quite right. I reckon that's a look at Wild West MMO, whatever it's called.
Wild West Online.
Wild West Online, right?
You're almost
it's generic title for a game.
Yeah, Cowboys.
It's kind of what it is.
Sounds like a mobile game as well.
It's that cowboy game. So there's that. It's just an interesting talking point, I think. Has the developer of a game ever put you off? I imagine a lot of people will say this about Sean Murray. The mere suggestion that Sean Murray is the developer of a game might put people off. Like Liam said though earlier, Sean Murray, it was coming from a good place. I want to talk about Brothers, Tale of Two Sons. You played it recently.
I played it and loved it recently. It was like one of those games where everyone's like, oh, play it. Total Biscuit's like, oh, it's the best game of all time. I'm pretty convinced Total Biscuit, by the way, when he says that, he said that when he reviewed it, and he's just kind of like sticking to his guns now so he doesn't look like an idiot. That's what I feel is going on.
He said it's the best game of all time.
He said in his review video, it is the best game of all time. I don't feel like you can decisively say that immediately after playing something. I think it's like a reflection afterwards. Like a few years later, you're like, you know what? I still love that game.
He said it in a podcast not that long ago.
That's what I'm saying.
He stands by it.
That's what I'm saying. If he said it in his review, and he's like, "Fuck, I've said that in my review," and he's all about credibility. So he's got to stay. He's got to stick to that story.
It sounds like he does genuinely love this.
Oh yeah. There's no doubt about that. The best game of all time is huge. That's a huge claim for a critic who plays a lot of games. Anyway, that's a complete sidetrack. I love you, Total Biscuit. This game is just magic. It's like the way that the controls are not controls. There's basically 4 buttons, as far as I can tell, that you just need the right stick, the left stick, and the right trigger and the left trigger. That's the entire game. That's all it's based around, and that's not what you're thinking about. You're never ever thinking about the controls. You're thinking about how what you're doing physically is just tied completely to the gameplay and the story. The way it sets it up right at the beginning is just lovely. Like you have to you have to like cart something down a hill. Like you use the 2 brothers who you're in control of. One with the right side of the controller, the other with the left side of the controller.
So you got your 4 buttons for 2 characters.
Exactly, exactly. So, and you have to move something down a hill following a kind of winding path with them. And it's like, just the way it's executed, immediately you're like, right, I understand what's going on. I understand what this game is making me do. It's communicated to you in a fantastic way. The whole story there's no words, there's no writing in it. It's just all gestures, sounds, like this garbled language that makes no sense. But over a while, you kind of pick up words and names, especially for people. You're like, so that guy's called that, is he? So you pick all that kind of stuff. You pick it up over time. It's a very short game. It's like 2.5 hours it took me to finish it, and it's just an absolute masterclass. It just blows so many games out of the water that have tried to tell you a story and get an emotional reaction out of you. I know you guys are big fans of Telltale games. A lot of people are. And I don't hate them. I've enjoyed a couple that I've played, but it's like that is like traditional movie style, TV series style storytelling, where it's like these events are happening, and it uses gameplay to interact with it in a certain way. So you're basically, the buttons in a Telltale game are there to make sure that you're paying attention during the cutscenes. Like if you miss it, you're like, oh, you were supposed to jump to the left, by the way. This is like, the story would not be possible. They would not be able to tell you the story in Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons the way they do without being a game. It's like it's the gameplay is telling you the story, which is such a genius idea. I can't even think of any other way to do it than the way they did. It's that clever. And I'm surprised that there haven't been more people that have tried to imitate it yet, to be honest.
It was designed, it's so unique that it'll instantly, any game that does that will be called the copycat, I suppose. Yeah. Because it's got it down. Like Limbo did a similar thing, storytelling wise. It's the thing. What you're saying is like Telltale games, and to some extent stuff like
any game, any like The Witcher, any massive.
Yeah. I mean, the story progresses in a traditional like TV format.
Yeah.
But Telltale games are more of an interactive TV show, really.
Yeah.
But this is, they designed the story and the gameplay together, didn't they? One couldn't have happened without the other.
So much so that don't even bother trying to play this on a keyboard, because I did. And it was
WASD.
Yeah, that's how it defaults when you play it on PC. It defaults to keyboard, and it doesn't work. Is how it works. They had the controller, and they were like, what? How can we make this work? How can we make this really, really work? So you don't have to think about it, and that you're just thinking about the story, how the mechanics are delivering you the emotions and the story themselves. And it's not as straightforward as you might think. It's like if you're controlling 2 characters, the drama isn't in like you're holding on for dear life, you're holding the other one on for dear life because he's, Uncharted style, the thing he was holding on is broken free or something like that. It is nothing like that. It's more like slow burn realization of what you have to do, and it's not even puzzles that they throw at you. I'd call it like obstacles, I guess. Where you're never like, damn, what do I do here? You know what to do.
You work your way.
It's intuitive.
It's a very I like that. I think there's a real power in telling a story just with exposition, storyline that's spoken.
With no exposition.
You can tell me what the story is. You can tell me the plot. You can describe it to me without a word being spoken. Like Inside did it last year, which again, it relies heavily on the gameplay to tell a story, and that's something very clever. That's about as close as you can get to doing something like Brothers without it being a rip-off. So it sounds like you're saying that this game is something special, and I'm sure most people who play it, more than not, would be inclined to agree.
It's an achievement, is what it is. It's as simple as that. It's very pioneering. And I know you're like, I would agree that you can't do this again without ripping it off. But the idea of just having the mechanics be so entwined with the story, that like philosophy, you could execute it completely differently with a completely different kind of game. Yeah, I'm sure. But it's
There's a couple of games that have got a similar appeal. Like Journey does that as well, where the story is complete exposition, all through mechanics, no speaking, and that introduces a co-op, an online co-op experience where you meet other players. So when things like that happen, they are critical darlings instantly. Brothers slipped under the net for so many people, and it's a hard one to pitch because it's like a couple of hours long, cartoony graphics, and it's just, especially for me, because it's just like, yes, Jake, you recommended me an indie game, you know. So I'm always on the back foot with that. But with this, as soon as I played it, I loved the art style and the music. That's important to know.
Yeah,
Did you know
the music is chilling because it's just like so minimalist, and it's just. It's always like it's really ambient music, and then there's just like a piercing bit of vocal every now and then, and it's like it's just great. It's perfect. It's perfect execution of everything. Yeah.
With you guys, how far into it did you get before you realised like, oh, this is really something special? Like, because there's a lot of set pieces.
Very early.
There's a lot of there's that bit with the goats, there's that bit with the trolls.
Yeah.
There's always like there's that bit with the set pieces. There's so many memorable bits. It's so concentrated. It's a short game.
There's like a little town right at the beginning, and it was as simple as that for me. When you're just moving through the town, and then there's like a bully, I guess, that's like stopping you from crossing the bridge, so you got to find another way over. And as soon as I was realizing that it's communicating a story to me, that this is the journey, that we're on the journey right now, but no one said, you must go on a journey. You must go and find this. You must go out and none of that. It was just like, oh, blah, 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 blah. And then you're just, before you know it, you're out and traveling, and things are happening naturally, and you can interact with stuff. You can walk through huge areas of this game and just walk right through it. But there's things that you can, classic indie style stuff, like you can just walk up to stuff and like do interact with it. There'll be a cat that you can pick up, and one brother, the cat will purr and cuddle. The other brother won't like it. It'll be like, like that. And so it's interesting to go up with one character and see what he does, and go up with the other character and see what he does. And that's all that stuff immediately. The first 20 minutes, half an hour of traveling through that opening town, I was like, this is great. This is lovely.
Yeah, and then it doesn't let up, does it? Really?
No, not at all.
What about you, Liam? Is it after you finished it, or straight away?
It was actually after I finished it.
Right.
When I finished it, I was just like, yeah, good game.
Yeah.
But then it's like when I was looking back on it in reflection, I was like,
yeah,
that truly was something special, you know?
Yeah.
See, this is what I mean with Total Biscuit, like just to know immediately after finishing that it's
Sometimes this stuff has got to mellow out.
Yeah.
Sometimes a game has got like like with food, you got that aftertaste, and then a lot of the time, it's normally the best way of realizing if you truly like a game is how well you remember it. You remember this bit, you remember that bit.
Exactly.
It's so seamless, and of course the urge to go back and try it again.
Yeah.
The thing with these games is that they're quite linear. They're a story from A to B. How they tell it is beautiful and wonderful, but when you've done it. It's meant to be. That's it. It's not like The Witcher. You can't go back and play it a completely different style.
Yeah.
And of course that is their thing. And weirdly, I find them more replayable. Like just because I know what's coming up, and I'm like, I want to see that part again. I want to see that bit again.
I think the newness of it and the surprise of it, like the moments, like you were talking about earlier, it's got these set pieces. That's a big part of what carries it along, because you're like, just what's happening here, what's happening next, what am I doing, and realize, I can jump on the back of this goat. That's a bit.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. It's really well done. I don't think I would go back to it, to be honest. But I don't know. Maybe I don't want to ruin it for myself, and maybe I've enjoyed it so much in my head. I don't want to feel like I don't want to lose that, if you know what I mean.
No, that's a really good way to.
I've seen it and gone. Like Transistor, I've just finished yesterday. Actually, I would jump straight back into that because the combat and the world and the style of the world and stuff is amazing. But the combat is so fun, and just all these different combinations. There's a real gameplay mechanic there that I would like. Just love to mess around with. Maybe that isn't the case for Brothers.
The one thing about Brothers that I got to ask you, and I'm clearly on the side of the fence where, to me, and I know it's a lot of people that disagree with this, but a game is as long as it needs to be. Like,
totally.
My favorite game this year is 2 hours long, and it's like, what, Jake? But and I can totally see where people are coming from. But as for Brothers, it's quite a short game. Yeah. Does that need to be longer? Does it need to be short? Because some people would argue,
no. I think it's perfect, really, the length of it, because it's got a ramping up, like it's got this nice, lovely tone all throughout it, and the stakes are kind of elevated slowly over time, and that there are these set pieces that carry it along, and the maybe not the novelty, but the I don't know, the control, the way that you're interacting with a game maybe wouldn't carry over as well if you were doing that for 10 hours.
I think it might outstay its welcome.
Yeah, it might get old. Yeah.
Would you care for a 15-hour Brothers?
No,
Brothers: A Tale of Seven Sons.
That'd be awkward.
I totally agree with Mike. I think it's perfectly paced as it is, and even like an extra hour longer, I think would probably detract from the experience.
So,
you know,
I reckon that's something that they've really put a lot of effort into, figuring out just how to grab the attention and change it up. There's no repetition to the game, really.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and I imagine stuff might have even got cut. Like they might have tried a lot of different set pieces that just weren't perfect enough, weren't worth having in there, so they
weren't
probably
varied enough. Exactly, as simple as that.
Because there's the very beginning. One of the very first things that establish how this game works is you use the older brother to give the younger brother a leg up. Then the younger brother goes to let down some rope that the older brother climbs up. So it's that very basic. Like you need to have to combine these two to. But that kind of puzzle is like, they might repeat that a lot because it seems like a really easy thing. They don't really. They use that same premise and change it. So you think what's going to happen is you're going to need to do it, but it's not. It's something completely different. So you're exactly right. There isn't a lot of repetition in it at all, and that is also another huge strength.
I'm glad that it's left such a good impression. I think a lot of people would have bought this on the Steam sale, 99 pence.
It's a quid.
Yeah.
And if you've got it there in your library and you've not downloaded it yet, I hope this urges you to just try it. It'll take you an afternoon to finish.
Exactly, yeah.
And
it's one sitting.
We've not spoiled anything. We've not even spoken about the premise of the story, why the brothers have to leave the town, which is good. We've done pretty good, I'd say, guys. So yeah, try it.
It's quite sad in real life, but it's not even the edit. It's just like
I'll edit that out. Right, guys, so that is Brothers: Tale of Two Sons. And just before we check out some of your questions and patron comments, let me just remind you guys that we do have a competition on for the patrons, and we're giving away 2 tickets to EGX, 2 super passes. They're like normal passes, but way better. You get to go in early and play games. We'll be there. You can hang out with us, and we're giving away 2 tickets. So all you need to do to enter that is check out the link that will be on the screen now. It will also be in the description. It's on our Patreon feed. All you need to do is answer the following question. If you were at, let's say, a gaming convention, September, Birmingham, and you were to buy the Pretty Good Gaming team a drink, what would you buy them? Let us know, because what we're going to do is close this draw on Friday, and then in next week's podcast, we're going to reveal the answer. So if you're watching this a week later and you're not a patron on the regular podcast, then yeah, it's just for the patrons, so don't you worry about that, but mate, we'll ignore that. And with that being said, remember, Friday, July 14th is when entries close, and then next Wednesday, we will announce the winner. So stay tuned, hold this little space in your head, and in a week's time, you may be the winner of 2 EGX 2017 Super Passes, courtesy of your boys at Pretty Good Gaming. Speaking of let's go into the questions section. The worst segue ever.
No, that was decent.
My Jesus.
That was solid. We've had some shit
Right,
ones.
we got a couple of questions. There's only 3 of us, so we'll try and burn through these. We do try and answer every question, but we got to go quick.
We do. We haven't
got to go
missed one yet,
fast.
as far as I'm aware.
Stephen Buford Jones says, "Hello. Someone may have already asked this, but imagine your minds have been wiped, and you can play one game for the first time all over again. What would you play? Mine is Final Fantasy 9. I love that game. In brackets, Final Fantasy 7 is still the best, though." I didn't add that. He really did say that.
Okay. Well, that's hard, because if you went and played an old classic game, it wouldn't have the same impact as it did when you played it the first time. So if I said Ocarina of Time, it wouldn't. I'd still really love it, I'm sure, but it wouldn't be the same as
because you'd be playing it in 2017.
With that in mind, I'm going to say Horizon Zero Dawn.
Whoa! Didn't see that coming.
I really like that game.
I know. Well, I know that, but that's good. That's cool.
No, it's good sound logic there.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
For me, sticking to that same logic, I'd probably say Nier Automata.
Fuck.
Yeah.
2 games just from this year.
It's a fucking good year. It's a good year.
It is, and my answer is What Remains of Edith Finch, and that's from this year as well. Stephen, what about that, right? 3 games, all of them came out less than 6 months ago. I would go back and play again. This year's been good.
Well,
this year's been good.
You go back and put, like Mike said, play an older game,
it's
but in 2017, you'll be like, playing it and go, what's this
Final
shit?
Fantasy 9 is good, right? Is in fact amazing, but playing it back, it wouldn't have the same pull. In fact, 7 would be the worst because it's just squares and triangles to form cloud.
Final Fantasy 9 is a lovely mobile game. It's a really nice iPad game. It's a beautiful game.
You can play it on the iPad.
It's so playable. It makes total sense.
Turn-based combat.
Turn-based combat, really nice, easy controls. It looks fantastic.
How about that? So that was it. 3, and basically because they're all quite new games, if you haven't picked them up, maybe that's a recommendation. Fucking hell. So thanks for your question, Stephen. That's shot me. Paul Dagnall says, great stuff again, guys. Just wanted to ask if you think Yakuza 0 is worth getting as it's on sale, and I'd like to see what you guys think of the game before I buy it, because that's what I did with The Witcher 3. Thanks again, lads. P.S. Tenchu is fucking amazing. Keep enlightening people, Jake. We got the Tenchu mentioning. The Tench mensch of the week. Yeah, we did it.
Do you want me to take this one as someone who owns Yakuza 0?
Yes, please
do.
I'm completely useless in this because I've had it since it came out in January and I've still not played it.
What a plot twist. Do you want me to take this one? Because I've got it. Psych, I haven't even played it.
I can say, as I've played pretty much all the previous Yakuza games, if you're a fan of like very linear but detailed stories, narrative, like over the top silly dialogue and gameplay, like if you like Shenmue as well, the Yakuza series is like the natural successor to it. But it's on sale on PlayStation Store.
Worth a risk,
get it, because even Yakuza 0, even though I haven't played it yet, from what I've seen on the internet, people who've never played a Yakuza game before pick this one up.
Everyone was saying,
and they're loving it.
It's funny though, because it's like that was one of the it was at the top of the year, and people were like, could this be game of the year? And now it
was in that batch of like
Resident
PlayStation
Evil
games. The Near Horizon Yakuza. That was one of the holy kind of
like 3 months, wasn't it?
So people really like it. Yeah, so. Why not?
Worth a look in it.
Yeah.
Stephen Hughes says, question for you lads. Favourite X-Files episode? Mine would be Clyde Bruckman's Final Repose from season 3, if only for Peter Boyle's fantastic performance.
Never watched X-Files.
Neither have I.
Sorry, man.
I'm completely useless.
I like that one where Mulder stabs the guy because he thinks he's a vampire, but he's not a vampire, or is he a vampire? And then they both tell their side of the same night. I think Vince Gilligan wrote that one, Bringing Back Guy. And because I like that it's it shows, and they have to get their story straight before they go to their boss. And then there's the vampire. Oh man, that's a good one. I like that one. That's my favorite.
Sounds like a good pick.
Because you just get to see the real dynamic between Mulder and Scully in that one. It's a good one. Okay, Andrew Fisher. Hey homies. Hey. If you could take a game that's rated for teens and under and make it a mature rated game, what would it be, and what would you add to make it classified as mature content? So off the top of my head, I'd choose Time Splitters 2, because Time Splitters Future Perfect was rated mature for all the blood and gore, and that's what I'd add to Time Splitters 2. Oh, and the dart gun that makes people fill with blood and explode when shot. Keep up the good work.
I've got to be honest, I'm completely blind to age ratings. I have no idea what games are rated, and I'm not bothered if there is blood. Whatever, if there isn't, I wouldn't notice. I don't think
I'm quite numb to that. It does to me like Horizon Zero Dawn, right? Imagine if Horizon Zero Dawn, you shot a guy and then arrow went through his eye and blood was coming out, or it didn't. To me, it doesn't really make that much of a difference at all. I wouldn't take that away from it.
Some games are built around, like Doom. Doom wouldn't be the same, obviously, would it? Because Doom's like hyper aggressive violence, because that's just part of the charm, because he's a very angry man, is the old Doom guy.
Is,
and he's, the demons, so fuck him, aren't they? They're just from hell or whatever. So
smash their fucking heads out.
Yeah. So that it makes total sense, and I enjoy that about Doom. But I'm not, if it was a game, if Prey, for example, was like, it didn't have enough gore or something in it, I wouldn't notice. I wouldn't notice BioShock or something, to try and compare it to something like Doom, I guess, like a single player.
What you got, Liam?
I don't know, I agree, I don't really pay much attention to age ratings, never really have.
Yeah.
But just to answer the question, I would say I'd like to see Ape Escape But
Yes.
imagine it done.
Yes.
Imagine
Ape
it done
Escape
with
is
like
so
some
good.
like really crass humour.
Yeah,
It's
like Conker's Bad Fur Day, which is a Liam favourite, right?
It is a favourite of mine. But yeah, imagine if like they just like, 'cause they're quite creative with the monkeys anyway. Like there's a one with boxing gloves, and he's called like he's got like Monkey Stallone and stuff like that.
There's the Arnie who has a shade and stuff. Yeah,
it's like imagine if they took Ape Escape, just ran with it, made some like really adult jokes.
Just bring Ape Escape back. Just fucking bring Ape Escape back.
Just bring it back.
It's like the Despicable Me Minions if they swore. Kind of thing, if they were like
kind of,
yeah, you know if even pinata, if you could like slaughter your pinatas for candy, which is currency that you could spend on food for more pinatas, add a slaughterhouse of your pinata. Is this what you want?
Suddenly it's like an early access like RimWorld resource management.
Yeah, I hope you're happy, Andrew. This is what you've done. You killed all these pinatas. I think that's a good thing. And all I've took from that really is bring back Ape Escape.
Bring back Ape Escape.
Cassius Coutinho says, "Love this damn channel. How do you guys balance a busy life and time for video games? Gareth especially." Oops, he's not here. Since you have mentioned you have a wife and child. If you could give a glimpse on how you organise your day and week, it would be sweet. Wake up, brush my teeth, go to work, get home, ignore my girlfriend and Ellie and the dog, play Crash Bandicoot, go to sleep, repeat.
I don't get enough game time. I feel I don't get enough game time. If you work 9 to 5, I also have to travel a long way to get here. I have to drive about an hour a day, over an hour a day. Yeah. I kind of squeeze in my gaming time where I can, really. Like if I after work, it's not easy to just go home and sit in front of the couch and just play games. Like, you know, there's always shit to do. I've just moved house and stuff, so yeah.
I remember you have just moved house. Yeah,
yeah.
That's a meme.
That's mentioned. So I'm finding it hard to balance it. If I'm being brutally honest, I wish I could play more games.
You get yourself into a routine. I know that Gaz's answer to this question, even though he's not here, I'll tell you what it is he tells his wife, "But babe, it's for work. It's for work. I need to do it. It's my job." That's what he says. So that's the secret, really. Get a job in it, and then you can say it's for work. It's easy for me because my girlfriend just likes watching me playing the games, and Ellie's 5 and likes watching me playing Stardew Valley and stuff. So as long as it's like kind of a nice looking game, even if it's like something really like not so childish, like Night in the Woods or something. Horizon Zero Dawn is Ellie's favourite game to watch because she just likes it. It's a girl killing dinosaurs and that.
It's a fucking great game.
So, you know, it's kind of, I guess I'm kind of lucky. And Liam, you're kind of lucky too, right? You've got
it's like
a job on the games.
Even though like I'm single at the minute, I don't have that many responsibilities, if I'm entirely honest, but I still only manage to get like 2 hours a night in at max of playing a game.
Yeah,
you watch a lot of telly and
movies. Yeah, it's telly.
I watch. I've got other hobbies, and you know, I try and go out with friends as much as I can. But even it's like, you know, I get home after like about 5:30.
Yeah,
I've still got to like make something to eat.
Yeah, to eat.
Do like chores, like doing like washing up and
Twin Peaks,
watching Twin Peaks. That's not a chore, is it? That's a pleasure. No, it's like, yeah, I've still got like life stuff to do, like sorting out like
it's just having a job,
bills
basically,
and shit.
It's basically just a job. It makes it hard, right?
Yeah.
So you can't.
People think we just come in and play games all day.
Which did happen.
Which has only happened once.
We've only all of us together have only ever played a game once. And it was this Friday just gone.
Yeah,
we've never all played the game together.
It's like streaming is all we've managed so far. And you know, even when we review games, like it's not like we're sitting here playing those games for ages. We do. You know, there's a video a day on this channel and the podcast and everything, and there's loads of editing and writing and scheduling and filming and stuff to do and workshopping and stuff. Yeah, there's a lot of that going on. It's not like
so that's how we organise.
Quite tough to balance.
Quite badly. Yeah. We try though. So that I hope that.
We're new at it, I guess.
Yeah, we'll get a sweet routine going. Your boy Rudy Manchego comments: as you guys continue to do good work and expand PGG, the aforementioned good work that you just outlined there, Mike, and with Mike getting recognised buying milk in the local spa, good lord, knowledge, Rudy. Has your increased exposure in the gaming community had any impact on you guys personally? Any issues like trolling or being recognised, etc.?
I can't. For me, not really. I've never been recognised in the street.
Someone said pretty good gaming to me when I walked past the Kimmel Bay bus stop. So there's a very slim chance you are watching. Hello. But I kind of didn't stop because I had headphones on and I didn't quite know what he was getting at. I didn't know if he was like just saying like, hey, or hey, you pricks. So I was just sort of like giving the awkward nod and then I needed to go and buy Miller Lights and that. So I didn't stop because of yogurt. But I think...
I've like when I told friends I got this job, they thought it was like cool and stuff like that. Yeah. But I've never never been stopped on the street. Like someone ask, "Am I on from Pretty Good Gaming?" But oddly enough, people who my sister works with have stopped her in work, like in the middle of her shift, and gone, "Do you have a brother?" She goes, "Yeah." He goes, "Does he work on YouTube?" It's like, "Yeah."
Work on YouTube.
And it's just like. My sister has met more people who know about me than I've met.
So that's ominous, right?
Yeah.
As for trolling, in real life, not really. I get called a fat lesbian on a daily basis.
People are fucking cowards in real life. That's
apart from YouTube comments.
But
people are incredibly brave. It's famous.
We get about like 250,000 views like a day at the moment. So like you expect that, aren't you? You expect everybody to be active watching the video, and then some people might just pick up on something really stupid. Like it happens everywhere. There's no slight on I don't feel personally attacked. I don't feel like anybody in our channel really gets a hard time. We don't get like cyberbullied. I can't imagine like something as silly as being a woman, like the No, right? They do a similar thing where there's two of them on the screen and they'll read the script. And the comments in their comment section, the amount of stuff that you see there is like, oh my god. So I'd say like we don't get any more trolling than anyone else. If anything, we probably get less than stuff like IGN and any women or anyone. I mean, I get loads of shit for being gay, and I'm not gay. So there's that. Do you know what I mean? So being anything other than a straight white man on the internet, you're going to have a bad time.
We're really, really lucky, is what you're saying, that we've been born this way. So it's ridiculous. It's just something we get disagreed with an awful lot because we're... we don't just do Let's Plays like, oh, this game is awesome. I can't believe that just happened and overreacting to everything. We discuss stuff and analyse stuff and mess around and make jokes at the expense of the industry.
Yeah, and we're telling people sometimes that their beloved game companies...
It's not that good, actually.
Yeah, we told people Battlefront 2's not... And you can see why people might be jumping to defend a franchise that they love.
But we get disagreed with a lot, and that's as close as it comes to me. It's just we don't get trolled. There's no like campaign, as far as I can tell. If there is, then
we're not important enough. No one follows us on Twitter and then calls
no
us.
change.org petition to take us down.
Exactly. So I just say it's just another. It's one of the things when you do a job like this and you're putting your face out there.
The fact we're a team. Maybe just dilutes it.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. Because that's the thing. Everyone's got favourites. So even if one person on the team you didn't like their opinion, you've got another 3 people. Yeah. So that kind of helps with the balance and stuff. So I'd say that there's no issues, but you do get comments. But who doesn't? I can't think of one person that doesn't. So yeah, just ignore them, innit? Especially when like the classic Jake thing that I always say to you guys is like, their mum cooks some tea. So what they say is irrelevant because they don't even make their own dinner at home. They're probably like going, "Oh, I hate women," and then it's their mum's made them like.
Shut up, mom.
Yeah, your microwave spaghetti bolognese is ready. James David Elliott asks, thanks Rudy, by the way. James David Elliott says, "How well will the Xbox One X do at launch? If people have already got an Xbox One or PC, what motivation do they have to buy a One X?"
Tough one. It is a tough one.
Yeah.
I believe
like Cuphead in 4K.
You can do it on your PC though.
Yeah, fuck.
I believe that it will be
cancel my pre-order.
Decent. I think it will be a decent launch, and it all comes down to the pricing after launch. I think how long it stays at that, because it's a lot of money. It doesn't matter how powerful the console is; it's still a games console. So you're kind of straying into PC gaming territory when you go over 400 quid, if you ask me.
It's a premium product, so people don't want to buy a PC, which is unusual. It's a weird niche. It's kind of like people that buy like iPhones. That's like a premium price product, and you can get a phone with better specs for cheaper. Kind of half of it's about like the
brand, isn't it?
Yeah, but then that's the thing. The reason I brought up iPhones, guys, is because you've got the 5 or the 6, whatever, and then you've got the S and the C and the P and the Q and the T and what, all these shit. Do you know what I mean? To me, it's just like I have got no interest in buying like a 4.5 or a 1X, because you know that soon
functionally
we're going to get the next gen, you know. So that's personally, I don't think it's going to do as badly, because the thing is, all these consoles sell, and I kind of want it to do badly because I don't want to encourage people to start breaking this console generation shit apart. I don't want it to be like a phone. I don't want it to be like a, you know, buy your exclusive shit. So I want it to do kind of not completely shit. I don't want them to waste money on it, but at the same time, I don't want them to get encouraged to make the Xbox One Z next year, which is like highly likely. I called the X. I'll call the fucking Z while I'm at it.
I think you might be wrong on that one.
And hang on, if they do another letter, it'll be Z because Z's the last letter in the alphabet. It'll be the last one before the next gen. That's where my thinking's going. So the Xbox One Z's coming soon.
Xbox One Y.
What? Xbox One, Y.
Yeah.
That's
what I'm saying.
Liam, do you reckon it'll do well?
I think it'll have its audience, especially as like more and more people pick up 4K TVs.
Yeah.
Like, because they get it, like they're a pretty reasonable price now, and you're seeing more people are picking up the PS4 Pro now, like almost a year after that launch, because they want to take advantage of their brand new shiny 4K.
It's really hard to tell. It's a gamble. It's a gamble making it in the first place, so it's really hard to tell. It might really pay off.
In the long run, like the audience really don't give a shit about power. Like the console audience, they don't care about power or specs.
No.
So
exactly.
Straight away,
they'd be on PCs.
Exactly. Straight away, it might look like it has a limited market appeal, but I think in the long run, it might do well.
It might have a nice tail, but the initial impact might be
a bit muted.
Yeah.
Be like, well, I've got an Xbox One S. What's the point of upgrading to the One X?
I think that's a fair assumption. So thanks for your question. Hopefully that was all right for you, James. We don't know. We don't have the answers, man. Gareth McClavey, who comes in with these questions, a man after my own heart, I may say, every time with just food questions, and awesome. I fucking love it. This one, simple, understated, eloquent, excellent. Favourite pizza topping. That's it. Whoa. Let's go.
I'm gonna have to go classic pepperoni.
Okay.
You know, it's for tried and true.
Tried and true, and outside of a pizza, pepperoni ain't shit. When's the last time you had pepperoni in a non-pizza environment? Do you know what I'm saying? So that's...
I had it on a panini once.
Pasta and pepperoni, it happens, but it's like, what's the point? Have a bit of bacon, have a bit of ham, have a bit of chorizo.
I was trying to throw some ideas out there. Barbecue chicken, sweet corn pizza.
Wow, okay, cool.
I'm quite fond of jalapeno at the minute on my pizza.
Yeah.
Jalapeno green chili.
The classic American hot, just pepperoni and jalapeno. That's a common one, isn't it?
It's a good one, yeah.
I think pepperoni is the king of the toppings, it's solely because it's like outside of pizza. Like I said, pizza's its fucking house. It's its domain. Like, it is the emperor. But personally speaking, and I don't want to start too much of a debate, guys, but I'm a Hawaiian kind of guy. Pizza
Hawaiian's good.
With pineapple on, it's got its little home. Okay?
Have you ever had barbecue chicken sweet corn?
Yes, I've
had.
A good crossover, barbecue base is like a bit of overkill on like a meat feast, but on the chicken, it's wonderful. It's nice.
It's excellent.
And that sweet corn gives it something else, doesn't it? It evens it out. It mellows out. It's dead tangy barbecue sometimes. You know, there's no place for like I don't like baked beans on a pizza. What's that all about?
Oh no, that's horrific.
Can I open this question up to everybody because it's like a nice simple one. Everyone can relate. If you don't like pizza, you're a freak. Let's get involved. What's the best pizza topping? I actually met a couple of people that don't like pizza.
Monsters.
Yeah, I don't know. It's my favourite thing ever. So that's it. I like Hawaiian, but I think the king is pepperoni. I'm going to have to...
It's the only food, really, that you need. I mean, if you could just eat anything.
It unites. Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Magic.
It's everything. So
much you can do.
Thanks, Gareth, for another great question. You consistent motherfucker. Durr says, how do you guys find your new good games? We kind of just, it's our job. Yeah. We just constantly scour the internet for news, and then you'll catch wind of a game. Like, you know, we don't really get to go to like all like PAX and EG. No, wait, we do get to go to EGX. E3. In fact, we are definitely going to EGX. I swear, this isn't like some sort of scam. We are going. Gamescom and stuff like that. That's what they show. Just watch that and just get involved. Remember that it's our job to know.
Yeah.
So
download demos if you can.
Yeah, exactly.
Try before you buy, that sort of thing.
Check out like previews and things like that, and we just got good sense.
I don't really get swept up in the hype of many games, and it's like really strong reviews that do it for me a lot of the time. Like Horizon, which I was talking about earlier. That was purely because everyone was saying it was amazing. And Resident Evil 7, I mean, it was going on the office here, but the only reason I was interested in that is, again, because it was getting really good reviews. I've played Resident Evil, liked it. I wasn't like hotly anticipating Resident Evil 7.
Oh, I was.
But it got loads of reviews, and I was like, oh yes, all right, let's play it. And I really enjoyed it. So it's the reviews that do it for me usually.
Yeah, it's always a gamble, isn't it? But with reviews, you've got a very good, you
can tell with the enthusiasm in their voices and stuff as well, especially thanks to YouTube reviews. You can tell when someone's really excited about a game, and that does. And when everyone's talking about how great something is, that's the key thing. Yeah,
I think that's what you mean when you say a new good game. That's what throws me off with this. Because new games, it's just like we just look at stuff. That's like how you do it. But new good game, like as in tried and tested. You have to be careful.
I say try like sites like Reddit as well. They have recommendation threads every now and then. They're usually like pretty good for getting some more of the obscure games out there.
Yeah, there's a lot of indie darlings I found from that. So yeah, that's it. How do you find your new good games? Is it us? I hope it's not us. Kevin O'Riordan says, instead of superheroes, what Game of Thrones character would each of you consider yourselves?
Don't know. I don't watch Game of Thrones, so you guys I'll let you guys assign me a character.
Okay, Liam.
I have
what character dies on episode 1? He's not involved in the discussion, so let's kill him off. He's that deserter that gets his head chopped off outside Winterfell on episode 1.
Okay, cool.
No, Liam, I don't know. It's a tough one for me. I'll tell you what character I can relate to the most, just because he's just so human. Like, he's just a fat man that just loves carnal pleasures, and he will definitely die because of it. Robert Baratheon. Although I'm not a king or a warlord, but I totally know if I was a king, I'd end up like Robert Baratheon, drinking myself to death, gluttonously eating boars, and that is, I think, well, I don't want to be like Robert Baratheon, but I have to try and bite the bullet, and I think that's what I would end up being like.
I feel like in that, well, given your answer, then I would have to go Ned Stark, so I can be the one who's like, stop drinking yourself to death, Jake. Oh. And you're the one who's like, hey, Mike, can you come down here and like help me out with all these bad people that
I'd ultimately lead to your death.
And ultimately lead to my death.
That is something. That's
sensible Mike, aren't I? So sensible Ned.
You try and save my life and ultimately die. That's really sweet. So that's nice of you, Mike.
That's a fucking great answer.
I think Liam would be. Well, yeah, no, that's perfect. I mean, that's it. Oh, fucking Rob and Ned over here. Do you know what I mean? We could have gone like Davos or someone amazing, but no, we didn't, did we?
Davos, yeah, that would be good.
Davos is fucking dope. But yeah, Game of Thrones starts next week as well. So
yeah, I'm so excited. Yeah, and I'm not even a huge fan of the show.
I just really want to watch it. It's a big one. So yeah, thanks for the question. What about you? What about you guys? If you've read the books, I'll be more interested to hear your answer because the characters are kind of different. So let me know. Yeah, one last question, and we're wrapping up. DJep asks, out of the four of you, Gaz, somewhere, who is the biggest jokester at the PGG office? I don't know, joke.
We haven't really got jokester. I read like laddish, like pulling someone's chair away just as they're about to say,
Prankster, bro.
I think Emmy consistently makes us laugh the most because she splits words up in weird ways. I think Emmy's really funny.
Emmy's yeah.
Is that intentional work?
It's the coming out of the blue with Emmy as well. It's sudden.
And it's the pun game.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we're gonna go. Fuck this answer. Number 5, Emmy. Emmy is the. But none of us. We don't pull pranks on each other, do we? We're far too lazy.
I think we all kind of just crack jokes a lot and stuff. We're always laughing.
We're just all great guys.
That's essentially what I'm saying. Yeah.
That's it.
I don't know.
We're all amazing.
So. That is it for this podcast. I want to say a quick segue. Gaz has been playing Shadow Tactics Blaze of the Shogun on what I was saying to him recently. And I said last week somebody had recommended it to me and I forgot who it was. So I just want to say sorry and thanks to CHax18 / Tom Weaver for recommending the game because I wanted to give you the credit last week, but I forgot. It's Ace. You've got me and Gaz hooked on it. So thanks a lot for that.
I also started playing Planetary Annihilation after you said. I think I did tell you, but
Tom,
there you go.
He's in there.
Recommend the game for Liam. See if you can get a free for free, boy. I reckon you can do it. But yeah, that's speaking of 3. This is it for the 3-man podcast. Gaz will be back next week, I'm sure, for the 4-man special. I've already started planning next week's talking points. I'm looking forward to it, and we will most definitely be seeing you on the next one when we will also be announcing the winner of the Super Pass giveaway for EGX 2017. Thanks for sticking around. Thanks for humouring us. We love you. Jake Kulkowski, Mike Williams, Liam McKelvey. We'll definitely be seeing you on the next one. See you later.
See ya.